Hi, good morning. Welcome to London. It's Tuesday, and we go again. All right, so we're starting with the dollar index, and we can see we're kind of retracing. Now, yesterday I was looking at this imbalance in here to see what they will do with that, which is within this one here, right? And I wanted to see maybe some kind of a displacement happen inside that area, so that I can use that in terms of looking for longs on on dollar and shorts on foreign currencies. So when it traded here, if you look at the time it did it was evening, so we have to wait till next morning. So price consolidated, and then this morning we've seen price continue going down, so that means that level is not going to be used. So the next level that I'm interested in, because you're bullish on dollar, is the previous week low. Okay, we are still within that same area where I anticipate the reversal in here, but the PD array that I'm expecting to be used was that gap that I mentioned here, and then maybe a small dive down, but they've gone deeper, so I'm now considering maybe they might want to come for previous week low. If you look over here, there's a small tiny little gap on the H1. Let me extend that. Okay, there's a small tiny little gap there. I'm not saying it's going to reverse from there, but if we hit it and it gives some form of a reaction in terms of buying, right, I want to see a big move away from that level there. If they're going to use that, then I'll look for foreign currencies to go lower again. This gap here is what I'm looking, and then this low. So either they do it from here or there, because that is just near that shaded area, which is that 618 to 79 retracement level. So let's see what they will do. Maybe New York session. It's Tuesday, it's a new week, and this is normal. Okay, all right, now if we look at the give me 1 second, I'm checking something over here. Okay, so look at these two levels, right? Now something typical happened last week with oil, and it had this same kind of price action, right? I'm not saying it's going to do the same, but it has this same kind of price action where the week started, they went straight down for the previous week low, and by Wednesday morning, price has reversed and they never looked back. So if you look at oil, because I've been buying oil since last week, right? Wednesday. This was, if you look here, okay, that's last week we started the week and then price just traded down from the onset, Monday, Tuesday, and then Wednesday we had price change direction. Thursday, Friday we were back up here, and then today, yesterday we've followed through to continue going up. So if what I'm seeing is right, then either they're gonna take our previous week low or reverse from here and continue going up. All right, so don't look at the bullishness that is on the foreign currencies and think that we are bullish. No, they are retracing, so they will resume going lower. If you are long on the foreign currencies, just be careful, be mindful, and make sure you take you take profit accordingly, so that if it does reverse, you don't suffer that kind of, I was in a profitable trade and then I gave everything back. All right, so this is just a pullback. It's gonna go back down. Now how you want to trade it is, at some point, once it gets to where it needs to get to, it's gonna give you a breaking market structure, or two things, right? Breaking market structure, or it's gonna give you a bearish order block. If it gives you a bearish order block on the 4-hour, I think you can use that to continue going down as a sell. Or if you are the type that likes to wait for breaking market structure, then whichever time frame you like to trade or you like to get your entry, then use that as your time frame to look for the breaking market structure. On on euro, I want you to look at the Asian session for last week, because that was a level here. Watch that level and the one I had before. Let me bring this one here. These are the two levels you want to watch. Okay, either they're gonna hit that, break market structure and start going lower, or it will stretch to take out this high here before it will come back down. Preferably I want it to happen here, because that will close in this this void here, right, and trade and bump back into this old low here, okay, where we have this price going up and then a breakdown. So that area should act as resistance and then resume going lower. I still like this as the downside objective, so look for that. All right, I think either they do it this New York session or overnight going into London tomorrow. That will happen. Okay, British pound, same thing. I did actually anticipate price going up because of this auto block here, right, and it traded back into, I think it was an auto block on H4 here, and then run for this equal high, which I think last week I was anticipating them to go and trade above that before going down, but that didn't happen. So this is a normal retracement to come maybe to this last up candle. It might probably trade a little bit deeper into it, and then we resume going lower. Now some of you might look at this as a breaking market structure, but this is not a breaking structure. Okay, it's just look at this whole move as an impulse leg. Okay, and this is a pullback. Don't look at this as impulse, therefore we have a breaking structure, and then you're gonna look for pullback and you're gonna buy, and don't do that. All right, price is still bearish in my opinion, so we should see some rejection in here, right? And that will happen either today or tomorrow, or it might happen, or it start reacting over the New York session, and then going into tomorrow it will start coming back down again. So watch this last up candle on the daily. It starts from here, right? They're going deeper, so look at the opening price. Let's get rid of this. Okay, there we go. Right, so that's your level you're watching. If you're long, you should be, 99% or 90% out of the trade, and then just keep, a small portion, because I can be wrong and this can be a reversal. All right, so if you're wrong, then obviously you're gonna trail your stop loss somewhere. So if you're wrong, wherever you went long, it will come back and stop you out. But before it stops you out, you actually see the change in direction, and then you probably close it. All right, New Zealand, yesterday I anticipated a sell off from this order block here, but that didn't happen, and they've gone through it. So it's typical weekly range expansion. We're going up between Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Actually didn't expect that much of a push to the upside before the continuation to the downside. So watch this high here, right? And then that imbalance, I think it's gonna attack that into that, and then maybe give up and come back down again. I like the fact that they've left this on the downside, so I'll be much interested in this going into the rest of the week. It's similar to, let me remove that. It's similar to your Aussie. So Aussie and New Zealand have sort of the same price action. So watch this high. All right, also you can draw a line on the previous week high, which is this one here. Let me go there and show you that. You can draw a line on that, because if they do go above it, that would be really nice to reject and come back down aggressively. Okay, and I'll show you an example on Euro Pound when we go on to Euro Pound, because yesterday I got a nice sell off from that run that happened. So either they're gonna go above this high into that imbalance, and then sudden death of New Zealand, right? Or they're gonna go for the previous week high, and then it will come back down again. So again, if you're long, don't look at this as a reversal. It's just pulling back. All right, and I like the fact that the previous week low is so intact. That will be the draw on liquidity once we reject and we start coming back down again. Okay, so there you go. Aussie is the same thing, actually anticipating 2%. 2% is right here. So it looks like it will attack this high, and then maybe a rejection. So remove this. That high, you have a small imbalance in there, right? You can also put a line on the previous week high. Like I said, it's similar to New Zealand. There. Again, previous week low still intact, so we'll be looking for price to come back down and attack this. But if you're long, make sure you take partial. Again, I could be wrong, and this could be the reversal, right? Because dollar is very high. So if I'm wrong, then obviously that will lead to a reversal and we go higher. But you know, I'm sticking with the bearishness until I get like a proper breaking market structure above on the daily. So if you're gonna go higher, I will have to get a breaking market structure above this high, then I'll be convinced we're going higher. But as long as we are below this low, below this high, I'm still bearish, right? Dollar CAD, that's where I was anticipating price to come to for an expansion to continue going up. Again, wait for price to break market structure before you do anything. Maybe New York session. I was doing some back testing on this pair, and this pair really likes to move during the New York session. It doesn't move much in London, but if you time it with your trade idea, run about between the 130 and 3. Okay, between 130 and 3. If you time your trade ideas around that time, you're gonna get some incredible moves on dollar CAD, right? I like backtesting during the weekend, and over the weekend, that's one of the things I was trying to achieve, which is the time of the day that some pairs will move. Instead of focusing on, you know, some other pairs, you focus on the pair that is going to move during a specific time of the day. And this pair came out. If you go through price, you will see most of the time it's moving between 130 and 3. That's when the big moves will happen on this pair. For GA, I ended up holding long overnight. This morning I saw a sweep on previous day's low. And yes, I actually, so let me, the trade idea, right? It was told, this is something that it's hard to, you know, sometimes phantom when it comes to trading, but it is what it is. As long as we are inside this auto block here, it's always long. Okay, as long as we are inside this auto block here, it's always long. It's just where you're gonna get in with your stop loss. That is the only problem, right? So the trade that I gave was based on the fact that we had reaction, right, inside that, giving us what, a breaking market structure. So if I go onto the 1 hour time frame, this was the reaction, right? So if it gives a reaction, then pullback is always gonna continue because we are inside that auto block. So that's why I gave that long, but it doesn't, when it came back down, it doesn't mean it's wrong. It's still valid as a long as long as we are be inside this down candle here, right? But if we go below this, then obviously I don't need to buy anymore, because then we've changed potential direction, and then price will maybe retrace back down here. But as long as we are here, it's still valid. So I'm still bullish on that, to go for that equal high that I shared in the general chart. Okay, what might end up happening, right, it's maybe consolidation, because it's doing what, taking our previous day's high and low, and it's staying inside the range. So worst case scenario will be a consolidation, right? So maybe it can come back and attack yesterday's high here, and then come back inside the range. So once you notice this kind of price action, you don't want to be holding on to trades, because chances are it's going to go back inside the range after the high or low is taken. Okay, so with yesterday's price action, that's what it looks like. They took out this low, and most importantly that one, and then big rejection. So they might take out this high and then come back inside or continue. So if you're still holding on to that long, I would say target this high here, right? Target that high, and then if you want, collapse the trade and wait. I'm looking for the Aussie to start giving some weakness. So if you go back to this, right, once Aussie takes out this high and we start gaining some weakness to the downside, then I think this one will explode to the upside. Okay, but Aussie is still down here. So if you're long and price is able to get up here, my advice would be either you close the trade or you take most of the profit off, then highlight this down candle, because if they come back, depending on how we trade above this, I don't want it to be a run on stop. Okay, so I want it to close above it. If they close above it, highlight this order block here, because if it retraces back down to it, that will send price higher again, right? If it was up to me, I would just take it up. I will not bring it down again. I will just take it up. But you know, it's not up to me, so you have to trade it according to what it's giving you. So if it's going to trade up here and you're still long from yesterday, close most of your position. Okay, and then if, depending if they close above it, then retracement you buy again. But if they don't retrace, at least you have some position on to continue on the up movement. All right, 15 minutes fair value gap. Okay, down here. Nice. I didn't want to see that, right? I didn't want to see that. I just went from that auto block on the H4, this one here, that it should hold. But again, how do I say it? I'm not even trying. I want to know everything about the algorithm. So there are so many things that I'm currently testing out, right? Because in my opinion, price is not random, and ICT has proved that price is not random, right? And he doesn't know everything. He knows a lot, but not everything. I'm trying to know certain things that are common in the market, not everything, but certain things that are common. And one of them, it's actually what happened yesterday, right? Let me go on to the I think 1 hour time frame and show you what I mean. So if you're going to be buying, right, how do you want that day to look like? Well, with the back testing that I'm doing, you can go and do that yourself as well. Anytime you are anticipating a buy, okay, if you're looking for a buy, you don't want to see Asia rally. Okay, yesterday over the weekend I saw that, but I wanted to see if that is true, right? If you're looking to buy for the day, you never want to see Asia rally, because if Asia rallies, then London is going to pull back and potentially might continue going lower. If you you again go back and back test what I'm showing, right? You will see some things, some common things in price. The moment Asia rallies, forget buying for the day. If you've done whatever analysis, forget buying. It will save you quite a lot. Okay, it will save you quite a lot, and I'll leave it there. If you want to sell for the day and price drops down in Asia, forget sell for that day. Okay, forget sell for that day, because it ain't gonna happen. Sometimes it can continue. That will be maybe when we have some kind of crazy market condition that maybe, let's say, COVID or election or some sort of crazy things going on. But if we have normal market conditions like right now, where we don't have any high impact news, we don't have none of crazy things that's going on, and you're expecting a buy or sell day, the buy day should see Asia drop first. Okay, if you see Asia dropping, that will be a very good day for buys. If you see Asia rallying, forget buying. All right. No, not that kind of rally, the Asian range. This kind of rally, you will see it. Okay, this kind of rally or drops. Let me see. Put your chart on the 15 minutes. Okay, if you put your chart on the 15 minutes or the hourly time frame, and then highlight between 12 and 5. Okay, between 12 and 5, that's UK time, right? And then see the price action that happens between that 12 and 5. That price action should not see, if you're looking for a buy, should not see a rally, this kind of rally, not that small, not something like this. So maybe you can put, again, I'm still back testing, you can put number of pips onto it, maybe anything beyond, depending on the pair, the ADR. If it goes, let's say 50 pips, all right, during the Asian session, if it goes 50 pips up when you want to buy, forget it. Okay, and if you want to sell and it drops 50 pips, forget it. Just look for something else, right? And I'll show you another example, because like I said, I'm spending ridiculous number of hours on a chart trying to get some of these things right, because price is sometimes too cruel, and once you understand few things that you're not supposed to do, it actually saves you from doing certain things on certain days. I think it was what was it, this one, there you go. All right, so here, if you were thinking of buying this pair, all right, yesterday, and then this is Asian session, okay, and then price rallies up like that, forget the buy, it actually was a sell day. Okay, so that's the rally due to the rejection of previous. Yeah, this one, yes, this one I actually anticipated that yesterday, so I saw short on this one. So this one was predictable that they were going to do that, but I'm showing you an example. Forget that it went for previous day's high. If we are anticipating, right, a sell, then this is a good condition for a sell. That market is going up, Okay, but if it was going that way, then you don't want that. Okay, for example, this one too. Okay, that was a buy day. I was anticipating a buy, but during agent session, what did market do? It rally up and not down. Okay, so when it doesn't do that, forget buying, because you might end up buying something that you don't want to buy. Okay, it's just, an advice. You can take it, back test it, and then see for yourself. Okay, it will actually save you so many agros and pain, right? So I was on to gold. Gold has taken out previous day's high. It couldn't close above it. It just went and took it out. Took this morning. We also have a bearish order block here, and we have this relative equal low down here, which is low resistance in nature. So I'm still bearish on gold. Right, I want to see price come for this low. I want to see price take out this low, and after we've taken out this low, I will look for a rejection. All right, so gold, we should see it come back down again. So it's just it's trying to put in the high of the week, which this high to this low, it can trade up to 618. But I like 50%. 50% should be enough because of this here. Right, if it goes to 618, that's fine, but I would rather see it 50%. Okay, and we also have a bearish order block there, so that should send us down again. So watch, I think 50% of that range. %50 of this range will bring me here. That's as far as I want to see it go. Between this and that, that's as far as I want to see the high form for the week, and then rejection to come back down again. When it's coming back down, partial, depending on where they reverse from, partial out here because of this low, that high, and that low, right? And then the rest, look for 1779, right? Oil, I am looking for a run above this high. Yesterday I got really nice entry on that. I happened to close out just above this high, and then I left all of that on the table for some weird reasons. I'm gonna show you. I think I was just stuck in front of the screen, so that tiny little retracement here after it went above this high, right, gave me some impression maybe they might want to come back down a little bit more, because we had a gap down here. So if they take out this and then come back down and then go up, because it was still Monday, right? And at the beginning of the week, usually there's always going to be some form of manipulation. So buying here during the London session and closing out here was a good trade, but my aim was for this high. So this morning I'm looking for continuation to attack that, and I think, let me see where I got in. Here, right here, that's where I went long, and I'm looking for a run to that high. Okay, I'm looking for a run to that high. My stop is below this candle's low. because of that imbalance there. So if it wants to form maybe the low of the day, then a small move to the downside, clearing out all these lows into that, and then I'll expect it to rally again. Do you only trade in for gold? Most of my trades will be hinging around the H4 and daily, right? That's where I do my analysis, and then I use the lower time frame for entries, to refine for entries. But most of the trades is going to be hinged on the H4 and daily and weekly. Daily for it's my high time frame for analysis, and then I use time of the day on the lower time frame and some fair value gaps on this lower time frame for refinement. I don't get gold. What don't you get on gold? Gold is still bearish, right? It's looking to go and attack this low. Okay, it's just pulling back. So what I want to see how price will react. First of all, above this high, you can see it's reacting. It's not time of the day yet, right? New York session mostly is when gold gets very active, right? So above this high, maybe during the New York session we might get something, but if they want to manipulate a little bit higher, then watch this and that level. Those are the two levels you want to watch for what's the word? It's a PD array. Okay, this move up here, that's the bearish order block. This is a PD array. So what do we expect at the PD array? We expect some price to give us some reaction. We expect smart money to come in to give us reasons for them to show willingness to move, and then when they do, then we go in. So this move up here that I've highlighted the low, it's the bearish order block and the mean threshold. That's all I've done, right? So either the bearish order block low or the mean threshold. If they do step in and it shows maybe a breaking market structure on the 1 hour, or it shows a breaking market structure on the 15 minutes, if that's the one you prefer, then you can use that as your reference point or your anchor point that price is going to retrace to and give you the reaction. All right, so that's why I have those levels there. Okay. Do you understand now? The indicator is, I think I mentioned it, but you probably weren't able to find it. So if you go to indicators and you type in nephew Sam, right? It will come up with the auto blocks. You can see I've actually highlighted all of them. The ones that I use is the fair value gap, the sessions, and the auto blocks. Okay, that's the one I predominantly use. Fair value gaps, sessions, and then auto blocks. So the sessions that you see in here is actually from these three. Those are the ones that I use. Okay, and the color scheme that I use is for bullish, which is the bearish auto block, I use the red, and for bearish, which is the bullish auto block, I use the green. Those are the things you need to change, because the default comes with something else, but I like the red and green. Okay, and then over here you need to get rid of everything and have just these three. Okay, have just these three, get rid of everything, and then over here leave everything as it is. Just change these colors from whatever color you prefer. You put whatever color you like. All right. Yes, we will look at Cardian in a second. Bear with me. Okay, so that's oil for you. Bitcoin and Ethereum, same thing. I'm bearish. I'm looking for continuation to the downside. It looks like they might want to attack this high before going down. Yesterday, I anticipated them going lower from this bearish order block, but they've taken out this low, right? So price couldn't confirm the continuation to the downside. Therefore, it looks like they might attack. I took out this previous day's low here and then rejected. So it looks like they might want to attack this liquidity above this day's high into that bearish order block and then go lower. So watch that, right? I don't think it can, okay, it can hit this and go down, but from experience, it might go through it and then come here, because anytime price gives you a bearish order block, it has to be hinged on something. The high of this could be the liquidity above this, but that high, in my opinion, is just an inside candle, so I don't really like using that. I prefer this one. Okay, so you can wait because it's Tuesday. Don't sell this, wait for it to go up a little bit more. If you want to sell this, I think you need to give it time to come back down and make a new low. Then we can confirm we are bearish again. All right, this low is still intact and it made a high. Retracement, it can make a new high. If this fails and it breaks down, we have a failure swing, then you can look for continuation to the downside. I'll focus more on Ethereum than Bitcoin because Ethereum did not take out this low properly, so I think it's going to come back and sweep it again. Alright, it's going to come back and sweep it properly because the way it went below that is just too shallow. Alright, you can't do that. That's too small. Right, we want a deeper run on that. Okay, so that is that on Ethereum. I'll focus on this one because of what I've just shared, because Bitcoin did the equal low that we have on Bitcoin. Let me show you. Okay, this one, it did go deeper. Okay, it did go deeper. So right there, that's the kind of run I'm expecting Ethereum to do, right? So focus on this because that will give you the move that will take the low properly. Bitcoin might not do that, this one might. Okay, BTC, I'm looking at the daily 50% retracement fair value. That's done. Move down. Let's go back to Bitcoin. Yeah, Bitcoin has the reason why I'm not focusing on this one because of this up candle here, right? Price should not breach that. It can, but I would rather it doesn't, right? the reaction that I was expecting from it was the close below this low on a H4 basis, and that didn't happen. Okay, so the price action on this one, it's not clean enough. This one is. Okay, notice that we don't have the bearish order block just above this. It is here. So it makes this candle an interesting candle because we have a small fair value gap and then the bearish order block. So this price action is more cleaner in terms of using the PD arrays, where this one isn't, right? So focus on that. But you can do what you think should happen on this. I just like to trade clean price action. So if I can see a clean price action on a pair, why would I want to force it on something that why would I want to force a trade on something that doesn't make sense to me? All right, so that's why I'm saying focus on Ethereum, because the price action on this is much cleaner. Okay, let's move on to here. We've talked about this, so I'm gonna leave that. Europe, Euro New Zealand, this one hasn't given me anything in terms of trade idea, but I've been bullish to go up to 1.96965. So that's where I think price is going. It's just the fact that it's been in a consolidation, so I actually not had anything. The last time I got a trade was up from here, and I've closed that trade ages ago. I think last week when it went above this equal high and it started rejecting, I closed it, right? And since then we've done nothing, but it looks to me that it's going to go and attack. Not attack, it's gonna go for 1.96965. So if you're in a buy, you really caught a nice trade. All right, Euro New Zealand, I think this one is also retracing. We did hit all the targets that I was expecting from the previous weeks, right? This candle, I actually gave you the low, the high, and then potentially trade up in here. I still think that might be the case, this last down candle. So I'm anticipating this as a kind of a retracement and then continuation. So OTE somewhere down here, so you can watch this. I think going into tomorrow, not today. I think today is still bearish. Let's highlight this, right? That's the OTE level. If you're short, make sure you take most of your profit there and then wait patiently. Let's see what price we do after they go for that. All right, on the weekly time frame, it's a previous week low as well and a fair value gap. I think I'm not sure if it was here last time I did mention what this is. If you've been trading ICT for a while, this is what we call the that, unless I'm institutional order flow entry drill. The drill is if you keep doing it over and over again. So that will be this gap here, right? So if it takes out that low, then we should see some reaction, and then you can use that for a potential buy. If you do get buy, this equal high and this would be where 90% of the trade should come off, because we have this run and then the break. So the next move back up will struggle, So this would be a nice area to collapse most of your trade, and then you wait and see if it can make a new high. If it goes above that, again, something that you can back test, how price behave whenever it goes above, how price behaves whenever it goes above high resistance. Okay, you can go and back test it. I found out that most of the time, just as soon as it goes above it, it's going to reject. Okay, so if you do, or if price is able to get up there, you should be considering closing everything, because it can reject and come back down after it goes above high resistance. Okay, Euro Aussie, same thing. I think it's trading into this imbalance. I didn't take the trade on this, right? I took the pound Aussie because of the weakness in euro pound. I anticipated strength on pound, so I took the pound Aussie, but that also just messed up here. But you can see it's still doing it, so I didn't touch this. I think this is also in a retracement, and I like this high as a draw on liquidity. We also have equal high in here, so imbalance, last up candle, we should see some movement below this candle's low. But whatever happens, I like this because of the fact that they did run stops here before moving up. So we have high resistance, right? And if you have high resistance, that's an indication, right, of this move should not be coming down here. That's what I'm trying to say. So there is going to be some kind of a rejection, and that can give you a trade idea. All right, this equal high and that high is what I'm aiming for. So let's see if that will be what they will give us this week. I like it. They've just attacked previous week low as well. I should move all this drawing. They've just attacked previous week low, so we should see some, if not this morning, during the New York session, we should see something. Right, previous week low, swing low, close above, man. We'll see New York session. Watch this down candle. Let's go back here on H4. Watch that last down candle there. If we trade above it, that's a buy. You can use the 1 hour. Yeah, it's still the same thing. That's the last big down candle on the 1 hour. If they trade above it, I think it's the same on the H4. Do trades normally reverse on Wednesdays? Good question. Again, it's not always Wednesdays. Now, according to ICT, and this is what sometimes leads me into doing a lot of back testing, because I don't like what's the word? I don't like the fact that it's not, I won't say it's not fixed, because price can do whatever it wants to do, but everything that price is doing, right, if it's truly controlled like ICT says it is, then there are certain things that will lead price to form a low on a specific day, right? Because we know price is not random. Yes. So if he says that 70% of the time the low of the week is going to form between Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, which day? Is it Monday? Is it Tuesday? Is it Wednesday? Or which week? Is it the first week of the month that is going to happen? Is it the second week of the month that is going to happen? Or is it the third week? Or is it that the first week, the low will form on a Monday, the second week the low will form on a Tuesday, the third week the low will form on a Wednesday, right? Those kind of ideas. So I do like the challenge to go in and find out, right? So that's what I'm doing these days, trying to find out more about all these things. And you can do the same thing. It's just a matter of being passionate of knowing. I'm not saying you should know everything, but there are certain things that if you get to know, it will help you become a better analyst and a better trader, because then you can avoid, like I shared earlier, do not trade when price rally in Asia, right? If you don't do that kind of back testing, you wake up in the morning and then you see price up and you're looking to buy for that day, and then it's going to retrace and you're going to think, okay, I think it made an impulse leg, it's retracing, let me go and buy it, right? So regarding whether it's going to reverse on a Wednesday, it's not all the time, right? It's not all the time, because it can reverse on a Tuesday, like last week I mentioned that oil did. Oil reversed on Wednesday. Okay, it dropped down Monday, dropped down Tuesday, and then it reversed on a Wednesday. I think it was dollar CAD last week. Here, it dropped down Monday, it dropped down Tuesday, it dropped down Wednesday, it dropped down Thursday, and then it reversed on Thursday. All right, so it's not fixed that it's going to reverse on a particular day. That week it dropped down Monday, Tuesday, formed the low of the week, and then went up. Okay, so it's not fixed. If it was, I wish it was, so that it would be much easier, but unfortunately I ain't. Okay, so we are looking for, where is it? Watch dollar. Dollar is kind of rejecting inside that small imbalance that I shaded. Watch the down candles as they were trading down. Do they go above the down candles? If they do, we might start seeing some reversal. I like the 15 minutes already. Let's go look at Aussie, New Zealand. Yeah, signs of rejection might be during the New York session. All right, let's come back. This pair has been annoying. It's annoying me. I'm gonna wait. Watch this down candle, right? If they trade to it, maybe that can offer a buy. It's still not confirmed that it wants to go up here. Okay, I can use the H4 to argue that this high, the H4 closed above it, so that can be argued that it can go up, but the one that I want to see is the daily. So the way it's going up, it's going up to that high, but I don't like it because it needs to confirm to me with a close above this down candle here that it wants to go up, right? So if it trades down here, that can be a gamble, right? To me, that would be a gamble. I don't know about you, but if I'm buying here, it'd be a gamble because I don't have a confirmation yet, right? I have a partial confirmation with the H4 here. So if it does retrace to that level, that would be a gamble buy. As it is now, it's trading back inside this small little imbalance. That can be a sell to trade down a little bit more, but I wouldn't recommend it. Why? Because these two pairs are doing the same thing, right? And when they are doing the same thing, that will lead this pair to do what it's doing, lots of consolidation. So I wouldn't touch it now. All right, so leave that. Let's go to the indices. Yesterday we forecasted price going to 50% of the range, so this high to that low, price going for 50% of that range. So all the indices, you see I have my targets on there, right? And yesterday I was watching price during the New York session, and you know ICT has been teaching a price model on YouTube. Okay, so I highlighted the very trade that he was going to show in case he did show anything in terms of trade on YouTube. I've not actually watched it. I've not watched the latest one, which is the one that he produced maybe yesterday. But if he does, right, I've highlighted the trades that he's going to actually use. One on S&P, which is here, and one on the Dow, which is here. Okay, so I'm gonna take you through why I think he will use that, and it's a very simple model. It's the easiest model. Let me go here. So time of the day, it's between 8 o'clock New York session, New York time. So let me change it to New York. Between 8:30, that's the time he gives. Between 8:30 and I think 11, that's where the trade is gonna form. So when I was watching price, the idea is for price to run liquidity. One of the videos that he did, I think it was the one on, I can't remember, but he mentioned that at 9:30 market will seek liquidity. Okay, so you might want to write that down if you trade indices. It said 9:30 market will seek liquidity. I actually wrote it down, so I'm reading what I wrote. It said market will seek liquidity, so that's 9:30, right? Market will seek liquidity. So it did seek liquidity down here. You will use this one or that one. I use this one because it's a session low. And then it's going to give you what? A break in market structure or a shift in market structure. And that happened right here. Right, so if you drop down to the 5, then you're gonna look for an imbalance down for price to trade back down to. So here is that imbalance, and then you're gonna buy. So I highlighted it and I said if he's gonna teach, you probably use this one because it did do exactly what he's been teaching, and you can see the results. Beautiful move. But before that, the target has always been here, right? So today, if we don't hit that by the New York session, then at 9:30 you're gonna anticipate something similar forming. But if they hit the 50%, to me that's it, because this is just a pullback, right? It's trading back into equilibrium, so I wouldn't want to push it too hard. If it does go higher, then there's a volume imbalance in here that price might trade to, but that's about it. I won't look beyond that because it's bearish. Okay, in a bearish market, PD arrays like this one are very strong, the gap. Okay, if it goes through it, then it will trade to the last up candle, and then it should resume going lower. Okay, so that's the Dow or US 30. The Nasdaq, something similar. This is the 50%. This is the last up candle, I think, on the weekly. So it's a gap or a previous week low, but I like the move up and then down. So if they go beyond the 50%, then I'll look for price to trade here. So if you're buying, right, 50% is going to be a partial profit level, and then you anticipate price going to the next PD area, which will be this candle's low. Okay, and then you start hunting for sell ideas to come back down again. Right, don't think that it's bullish, it's actually bearish. Give me 1 second. Okay, let's continue. S&P, the same thing. I highlighted this one as well, because when I was doing it, only these two gave me the imbalance in the lower time frame. This one didn't. When it did run the stop at the time, there was no imbalance, right? So I didn't highlight this one, and you can check out when I finish. I'm going to check myself to see which one he actually gave. So any question? For Aussie New Zealand, I still have a red daily candle mark on the 12th of May. 12th of May. You mean this? What data feed do you have? It's not a red. It's not a red candle. Unless your settings is using this as a swing high, and then it'll paint this one red. Right. Any questions so far? Because my time is up. I mean, I've finished. I've got a lot of things to back test, so I'm gonna go back and do more back testing. The next one, this one, I don't know why yours will be red, unless you've done something, your settings is wrong. It's the last red daily candle before the up move on your. This is not my daily. This is my 4 hour. This is the daily. So don't get confused. That is 4 hour. This is the daily. And on my daily, this is the 12th of May, and it's a down candle. It's a black candle. Do you live trade every day on your platform? We do have sessions every day. So Monday to Friday, New York session all the time, and then Tuesdays and Thursdays we have London sessions as well. So the Tuesdays and Thursdays we actually do it together. So those in the free community will have access to watching what we do. It's the same thing. It's just that most of the action is in the New York session. The Nasdaq, yes, I do what I'm doing right now every day. So New York session, I'm gonna go through and see what price has done, and then I'll give you what price is supposed to do. Okay. If I see, like yesterday during the New York session, I think, let me change it back to London. What time is it? So this time we would have finished our session. Okay, but based on my directional bias that I gave you, the trade idea will form. If it does form during the session, then obviously we're gonna take advantage of it. But here, the session finishes at 3. That's when we finish the live sessions. So this forming after 3, you'll have to go with your understanding, because I will not be in front of the screen at the time this form. I came back exactly 4. So when I came back, price was right here, because I pick up my son from school between 3:30 and 4. So when I came back, price was exactly here, right? And it was turning. So yes, you can, if you want to join, by all means feel free. We do get really nice trade setups every single day, and sometimes there's nothing. Like between yesterday and this morning, the only trade that did well was oil and euro pound. The rest, euro, the New Zealand and Aussie, they actually stopped out for the 2 trades that I sent. But we were anticipating that in terms of if they want to stop us out, then it's going to go into OTE, so we can wait and then sell it again. Still thinking it will sweep that one, and there is a 3-hour OB below. Oh, you mean on Aussie New Zealand? This is what I'm thinking, right? I think it should come back down. Okay, that's my thought process. When I came in this week, I was thinking they should come back down again, clean out this low, rebalance properly, this big candle here, and then send it higher. That's my thought process, or my analysis that I did over the weekend. So yesterday, when price broke down, right, I was anticipating it to continue coming down here. So I'm surprised that it came back up, right? So I'm not doing anything with it. I'm just watching it to see how it's trading above this high. that's what I'm watching now. How's the funding account going? My H4 auto block strike, I'm refining it with the time of the day and the day of the week, because you can trade it on its own and you do amazing if you are disciplined with the risk, because it will get crazy when sometimes you think you know it all and then you want to increase the risk. So if you just use normal risk to reward, you're gonna get fine. You're gonna be fine. I actually passed one FTMO trial, not the real one, trial, and also I took the 50k account to 56, but I'm doing a lot of back testing, right? Let me show you the account so you can see. I'm doing a lot of back testing, so I have to take the trades, but you can see here, okay, I take it all the way up and then I bring it back down again, right? So I take it up and I bring it back down again. I take it up and I bring it back down again, because I'm doing a lot of back testing, and you know, when I'm back testing, you are gonna incur losses. But if you just follow the strategy rules, you should be fine. Yeah, you should be fine. I'm just, you know, I'm the sort of person, we have different type of personalities. I am a creator. If you look into I'll find the name. I'm a creator, so I like creating, right? So I want to look into price and see why certain things happen, so that I can help you guys, because everybody's personality is different, right? You might not want to sit there all day trying to figure out something, but I do. Okay, that's my personality. I want to figure out things, right? Build things. So when I do it, then I can come here and then share it with you guys. How you use an FUOB. All right, yeah, I think I did mention someone to remind me in the general chat. So the way you want to use the auto block, it's very simple. How do I start? You want to find the direction that price is trading in from the higher time frame, preferably daily, 4-hour, weekly. Okay, daily, 4-hour, weekly. So when you do get the direction right, then the down candles that price is gonna create, you want to trade the ones that comes with like the green candles. So let me use oil as an example, because this one is the one that I have been trading crazy for the last 2 weeks. In here, okay, any down candle that price created is a buy if price trade back to it. So from the 1 hour up to the 4 hour or 1 hour and 4 hour, any down candle that price creates is a buy. So if you look here, with the understanding on the high time frame, here we have this down candle, right? It trades back into it, and obviously time of the day application as well. So it traded back to this during the London session, and then that was a buy. New York session, that was a buy. That was London close. You don't want to be trading that. So next day we created one here during the London. It couldn't trade back to it. That one, New York, if you traded back to that, that was a buy. That's what happened here. And then yesterday, this one wasn't green, but in my mind it was green because of some narrative that happened here. So that was also a buy. And then this morning you can see one just now created. That's also a buy. All right, so you want to find out your you want to find out the direction price is moving on your high time frame. Once you find out the direction on your high time frame, then you move to the lower time frame and then use the time of the day plus the OBs that this indicator is going to give you, and then you trade in that direction. My indicator doesn't have highlight OBs as yours do, any customization. I think I was showing it earlier. If you, right, this is the settings, get rid of everything. Okay, you don't need all of that. You can, leave the, sorry, that's the sessions. What am I on sessions? You don't need these ones. All you need is that, and this on the first input. On the input, you need this, and that. Okay. You can leave whatever settings that's down here on. Okay, you don't need to change it. And then you go on to style, and then on style, you can get rid of all of these if you want to. It's just there. I don't use fractals. If your fractals is on, then these are going to be meaningful, but if your fractals is off here, then it's not going to mean anything. So you can actually turn them off. The only important things here is that this and that. You want to change it to the color that you prefer. So if I change this to I like the red. If you change it to yellow, all your bearish order blocks on that chart will be yellow. Okay, and then if you change it to orange, all your bearish order blocks will be orange. But I like red, so it's red for my bearish order blocks and green for my bullish order blocks. I mostly enjoy the insight, therefore I'll join. Yeah, you're gonna get lots of insight. If that's all you need, then I think you are the right place. You're gonna get heck lot of insights, like crazy. There are certain things I cannot talk. Okay, I cannot talk about it here, but I can in the private sessions, because the private sessions is not made public, so I'm allowed to speak whatever I want to speak. But here I'm limited to what I want to talk about. I can give you hints, but that's about it. I have the same indicator but no option for colors. You need to go to that one. Okay, and if you've been using the old one, then remove this, reload your refresh your page, okay, and then add it back again. You should have the same. All right, no problem. So I think pretty much that's all. Um, so I'll see you guys on Thursday for those of you on YouTube. Oh, just before I yeah, I think I ignored my um I actually ignored my private members because their questions is coming on a different platform. So let me look at Cardian for you. I do apologize. I was, you know, watching YouTube questions all the time. Let's look at Cardian. Okay, let's see what's happening. Cardian. Let's go to the weekly time frame. Monthly. The monthly is bullish. Monthly is bullish. Let's look at the weekly. Right, it's two ideas that is going through my mind. One is we are bullish, therefore price will come back and attack this high. Okay, price will come back and attack this high. At the same time, the weekly is showing some kind of weakness here with that bearish order block, and this is a pullback, so it can come back down again. So if I was to trade it, then I'll use the weekly range expansion idea and look for rejection somewhere up here. So I'll actually wait for the H4. I'll wait for the H4 to give me one drive down, okay, like this. I want to see the H4 give me one big down candle, and then I'll be interested in selling short to come and attack this low and attack previous month low, and then anticipate a reversal to go back up again. The other idea is that I will have to wait till end of the week to see if the weekly candle will run above this high, because if the weekly candle runs above that high, then this range was just a pullback and it's a deep one. Right, it's a pullback and it's gonna go up here. So your trade, or your main trade that you could have done, it was yesterday. Okay, yesterday when price traded down. Okay, yesterday when price traded down, and I'm talking to you specifically because you are in the private group. You should know about this, right? We have 1, 2, 3. That's a swing low confirmed on the daily. So the very next candle should give you an up close candle, right? So yesterday was a good day to buy that, to trade to optimal trade entry. But in terms of looking for a trade today, you have to be patient, right, to see does does price give you a rejection, or do they go above this high? Because if they do, then it's gonna seek the liquidity above that high. If not, then it's gonna reject and then trade all the way back down to this low. Which one do I prefer? I'll prefer this, right? I'll prefer that, because this is the beginning of the week yesterday, and price is manipulating to the upside first, which sets up a sell. Remember what I said? I showed you on the Asian session. If we are expecting a buy, we want it to trade down first. If you are expecting a sell, we want it to trade up first, and they are traded up first between yesterday and today, and it's still 3 days to go, right? So those 2 days, they can manifest a big down candle like they did last week. What risk to reward? Let me answer a few questions over here first. Euro USD overlapping fair value gap on the H4 H1 15 minutes, break of structure on 1 minute. Let me see, where is that euro overlapping? That one, yeah, I did at the beginning of the session. I did mention that they will trade to that, and you want to watch price when it trades to it, right? If they don't, because that specific day, I remember a friend of mine posted an idea to sell short if price retraces to that level, and I put a comment that he should watch the Asian high, because that day they left the Asian high intact. So that is the Asian high there, right? You should watch that instead, because they did not take out that Asian high, so there will be liquidity sitting above that Asian high. Okay, so I'm not going to I wouldn't look for a sell in here yet, because of what I've just explained, right? There is liquidity up here, but if they maybe 15 minutes at least, if we took out this low, then maybe yes. If we took out this last up candle's low, then yes, I'll consider maybe a sell. But this week my focus is actually to leave these two alone for sells and then focus on these two. So I'm focusing more on these two for a sell, because of the low resistance it has put in before coming up. This one, they have high resistance down here. Pound, high resistance down here. Aussie, low resistance. I'm sorry, New Zealand, low resistance. Aussie, low resistance. So I like to sell to attack low resistance. All right, but you know, if you're trading the 1 minute chart, obviously your trade is done by now, because you got let's see where you got in. So that's a breaking structure, that's a pullback, you sell short this low, that's it. Unless you were anticipating a I'm sorry, that's not euro, is it? Yeah, breaking structure here. Yeah, unless you're expecting a bigger drop, then price is retracing back. So sorry, Mr. G. I was too focused on the YouTube, so I couldn't answer your question early. UJ. that's a pair that I barely even look at on it. I don't look at this even during our live sessions. I don't like it. I never trade it. It's just too complicated to analyze, so I just don't touch it. But it's still bullish. It's still bullish. Inside candle, run this low. Okay, we need price to go above this high before they resume going high again, but maybe it might come back down, right? Yeah, that's why I don't like analyzing this pair. It's so weird, because dollar is bullish and yen is bullish, so hence it's stuck in a range. A website that can help you prevent this is Finviz, Finviz. If you go to that website, Finviz, and you go to Forex, on that website you go to Forex, and then on Forex you go to performance, right? It's gonna give you relative performance for all the majors, or it's gonna give you the performance for the currencies, individual currencies, and you're gonna see which currency is strong and which one is weak. If you put it on the weekly time frame, okay, when you're day trading, put it on the daily, but when you're kind of short-term trading, if you put it on the weekly time frame, any pair that is close together, you want to trade the extreme ones. So currently, if I show you, if it doesn't play up, let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so if you look here, right, you can see dollar and yen is kind of dollar and yen is kind of trading, the strength is the same, right? So it means that price is gonna go sideways, so you might want to avoid trading that. And then the one you want to trade is the extreme ones, so pound, yen, pound, dollar, pound, Swiss. Those are the ones you want to trade. Okay, and then pound Aussie, you can avoid that. Pound euro, you can trade that as well. You can trade Aussie yen, you can trade Aussie dollar. Okay, you trade the extreme ones, not the one close to each other. So euro Swiss you don't trade, euro card you don't trade, New Zealand card you don't trade, Aussie New Zealand, as I said earlier, you don't trade, right? So hopefully that helps. So it's not a pair that I'll, waste time on because of what I've just showed you. It just doesn't make sense. Let's go back. Any question? because I'm running almost into 2 hours. That's not cool. Because anyone that wants to really watch this, they will have to sit through 2 hours of boring speech. All right, so that's all from me for today. I will see you, those on YouTube. I'll see you on Thursday. For our members, I'll see you at 2, and this time it will be just us, so I can answer your questions in time. All right, so have a wonderful day, enjoy, and I will see you guys later. Take care.